Modes, made easy. We're gonna look at the 7 modes in the key of A major. If you haven't already memorized the major scale, you'll need to for this lesson. Here is a review of the major scale. And you'll wanna copy my fingering because it'll be really useful in this lesson to play it exactly how I'm playing it. The pattern that we're playing uses 4 frets. We use our first, second, third, and fourth finger, and each of those fingers will stay in their lane or in the fret that we start them in. So we're actually going to start with our second finger. Also in a prior lesson, I talked about the chords of a major scale and how to build those chords using the major scale. Here's a quick review. Each note of the major scale is a numbered interval. We've got the first, or the root, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the eighth, or the root again. The chords of a major scale are built with triads on top of those intervals using only the notes appearing in that major scale. So the first chord is root, or 1, 3, 5. The second chord is 2, 4, 6. The third is 3, 5, 7. The fourth is 4, 6, 8, or the root. The fifth is 5, 7, 9, and the 9 is also a 2. The sixth is 6, 8, or root, and then 3. The seventh is the 7, 2, 4. And then we're back to the root. Those triads make up chords that are either major, minor, or diminished. Here's a chart of how they appear throughout the scale. The uppercase Roman numerals represent major chords, which are made up of the root, the major third, and the fifth. The lowercase are minor chords, and those are made up of the root, the flat third, and the fifth. And the degree symbol next to the 7 represents a diminished chord, which is the root, the flat third, and the flat fifth. So each of those chords, root note, is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh interval of the major scale. So we've got A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, back to A. And the chords we built sound like this: A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, G sharp diminished, and back to our root, A major. Beyond those triads we just built on each interval, a mode builds an entire scale beginning on each interval using only the notes of the original major scale, in this case, A major. Each mode has a name. The first mode is built on the root, and it's called Ionian, and it literally is just the major scale. We're in A major, so A Ionian is just the A major scale. The second mode is called Dorian, and it starts on the second interval of the A major scale. So our first note is an A, our second note is a B. So now we'll play an A major scale starting on the B and ending an octave up on another B. But the same notes of the A major scale are played. So the second mode of the A major scale is called B Dorian. And as we said before, the second chord is a minor, so is this scale. The third mode, called Phrygian, starts from the third interval from A, so 1, 2, 3. This happens to be a C sharp. So if we play C sharp all the way up the A major scale to the next C sharp, an octave up, we'll be playing in C sharp Phrygian. The fourth mode is called Lydian, and so we start from the fourth interval from A major. 1, 2, 3, 4. That happens to be a D, so we're going to go D all the way up the notes of the A major scale to the next D, an octave up. The fifth mode is Mixolydian, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that lands us on an E. So we play E up the A major scale to the next E, an octave up. And that gives us E Mixolydian. The sixth mode is Aeolian. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is an F sharp. We play an octave up from F sharp to F sharp. and that gives us F sharp Aeolian. The seventh and final mode is Locrian. Starts on the seventh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is a G sharp. So we play G sharp to G sharp, and we have G sharp Locrian. And then we're back at the root, so we just start over. All of these modes can be played over their respective chords of the major scale. For instance, it's safe to play B Dorian over B minor. And it's safe to play E Mixolydian over E major. Now you'll also be able to play the various modes over other chords and progressions, but we'll save that for another video. Your next step is to familiarize yourself with the feel of each of these modes. And what I like to do is I like to play a single note. We'll stay with A, and play all the different modes over that note. So playing one note is neither minor, major, nor diminished. So if our drone is an A, you can safely play any mode in A over that drone. So you can play A Dorian, A Phrygian, or any A mode over that A drone. We will need to shift the scale so that the appropriate interval falls on A. Stick with me, you'll see what I mean. But for the first mode, we don't have to do anything. It's already in A Ionian. So I'm just gonna play A major over that droning A. This is a very bright and happy and familiar sounding scale. For the purposes of keeping things easy and neat, we're going to use the major scale starting from the sixth string to identify the different modes in A. So for Dorian, the second mode, the A needs to be the second note in that major scale pattern we're working with. In order to play A Dorian rather than B Dorian like we did earlier, we need to drop that second interval to an A. The second interval of A major, 1, 2, is a B, but we need to make that an A. So I'm gonna slide my fourth finger, my pinky, down to an A. So this is B, A sharp, A, right? Now, play the major scale as you would had you started from the sixth string. And if you follow the scale down to the 1 position of that major scale pattern, you'll land on G. So when we're playing A Dorian, it's like we're playing a G major scale over A. But the difference is we don't resolve to G, we resolve to A. That droning A will help you kind of feel where we're at. As you can hear, Dorian is a minor scale. It has that sad feeling. But with the raised 6, it also feels a little bit optimistic. Now we'll do A Phrygian. The third interval will be the A. So if we do our scale 1, 2, 3, that means we're using our first finger on the 5th string. So we need to find an A on the 5th string. Of course, there's the open A, but we're gonna do it up here to keep things nice and simple. So this is an A, the octave A, right? So I'll just continue that same major scale pattern. And if I follow it down to what would be the 1 of that major scale pattern, it's an F. So for A Phrygian, it's like we're playing an F major over that A droning. But once again, we're gonna resolve on A. So let's hear what that sounds like. Kind of has a dark, intense, and kind of an exotic feel to it. Now we'll play A Lydian. So we need to make the 4th interval in A. So play your scale, you can play it anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this needs to be the A. We're gonna slide up to here. Follow the scale pattern. Go all the way down. It's like we're playing an E major over that A drone, but of course we're gonna resolve on A. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, let's do Mixolydian. That's the fifth interval. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we make this pinky our A, which is up here, and now we can continue that scale. Follow it all the way down, and we land on D, so it's like we're playing D major over that A drone, and that gives us A Mixolydian. With that flat 7 in it, it kind of makes it sound kind of bluesy, doesn't it? All right, now we're on the sixth mode, which is Aeolian. So we go to the sixth interval, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're on the fourth string. Our first finger's on the fourth string. So let's find the A on that. You know your octave rule, it's right there. So now we can continue that same major pattern. Follow it all the way down, and we end on C. So it's like we're playing a C major scale over that A drone. Of course, we resolve on the A. Let's hear what that sounds like. This is a natural minor scale, so it's kind of sad and serious. And lastly, we have Locrian, which is the seventh interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got our third finger on the fourth string, so we just slide that up 1/2 step to the A, and we continue that major scale pattern. Follow it down, and we're in B flat. So we play a B flat major scale, but we resolve on A. Let's hear what that sounds like. A lot of tension in that one. It's very dark and unsettling. Okay, so mess around with those and get to know how each mode makes you feel so you can use those modes to express what you're feeling. Future steps is to learn the different positions of the major scale so you can move around the neck more with these modes too. And also you can experiment with these modes over other chords and other progressions and see what works for you. Remember, this is your experience. This is your musical journey. So whatever sounds good to you, that's what matters most. So have fun with this and hit me up for private lessons. Right now, your first lesson with me is absolutely free. Let's see how we can help each other out.